You know, a good reminder from Genesis chapter 1, verse 3 is God always pierces the darkness, always. And the darkness doesn't last.
And the high priest, the great high priest who is Jesus Christ, he puts his hands on your life and you take your hands off and you say, my life is surrendered for your purposes.
Well, hey, my name's Jamie. I have the privilege of hosting this podcast for Downline Ministries and serving as the lead pastor of Redeemer, Dripping Springs, right outside of Austin, Texas. We hope this podcast helps you faithfully walk with Jesus while pouring your life into others. And today we are joined by one of the members of the first ever Downline class, which is kind of what you're known for, right?
Right.
Yeah. Lecrae. Can we welcome Lecrae to the podcast, everybody?
Thank you.
This round two, man.
It feels good.
It does.
This is the part where we talk about my NBA career. Right?
Yes. Yep.
That's right.
And then this is the part where that's already over. So we're done.
Take this comedy troupe on the road. That's great.
Okay, look, we're going to touch on just a few things from the first one because, and I really do want you to go back and listen to it because Lecrae shares so much of his upbringing, getting into music, what God did in and through people in his life, and how God rescued him, and it's a unbelievable story. But let's pick up, because I do think it's remarkable.
Sure.
Let's pick up with, you're in high school, you're in Plano, you're searching.
Mm-hmm.
God legitimately, there are a couple unbelievable dreams.
Right.
And then we'll go from there to the BET Cypher, because that's a fun story.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I rarely tell this story because I know like some people are like, did that really happen? And you kind of would have to believe in the mystical, miraculous works of God. But I wasn't raised in church. I did not. My mother kind of was scarred as far as religion was concerned. She grew up in a very traumatic church background. So she just raised me to be a free thinker. And in high school was really rough for me. I had some traumatic times. Got arrested, had some pregnancy scares, was really just living kind of, just wild and reckless. And I went to sleep, had a dream. In my dream, I saw this golden dome. And as I was saying before, this is pre-Google. So I had to go to the library and ask the librarian about a golden dome. And it pointed me to the Dome of the Rock. When I saw it, it was just like I saw in my dream, which freaked me out. At the time, I learned it was occupied by Islam, so I thought God was Allah, and I needed to become a Muslim. Started practicing Islam. After a little while of going to mosque and practicing Islam, I just felt like I couldn't keep it up. Had another dream where this time the dome opened up, and when I looked inside, I saw what was in my mind a manger, and it kind of made me think, oh, this is Jesus, and this is the God of the scriptures. And so then I began to investigate Christianity, wandered into a church at 17 on my own. A lady asked me if I was saved. I had no idea what she was talking about, but the look of shock and horror on her face made me say, I got to investigate this a little more, because this really bothered her that I said I'm not saved. And then ended up at a conference a year later as a freshman in college, where I heard the gospel that transformed my life.
What conference was that?
It was called an Impact Conference. It was done through Campus Crusade. Yeah. So, and that was when I first saw some Christian rappers. I didn't know that was a thing, like Christians who rap. First of all, I didn't know Christians looked like regular people, because in my mind they looked like my grandmother. They wore white gloves and they like peppermints and so just to see young Christians was kind of like mind blowing to me. Which intrigued me, but by the end of the conference, I had given my life to Jesus, and then I wanted to start trying to put some of the transformation that happened in my life in music. I didn't know a lot of Bible, but what I did know, I tried to put it in music. You fast forward a little bit, and I end up starting this record label with my now partner Ben called Reach Records, and to start that, all I did was invite my roommates and some guys that I was mentoring to be a part of this, and we all ended up becoming lifelong friends and artists together. And
who all was in that original group?
So it first started with me and Tadashi.
Yep.
And this is some years after I become a Christian. So I become a Christian at 19. I'm like 21, 22 at the time we start.
Still in Denton. This is
Still
Denton,
in Denton.
right?
Yeah, still in Denton, Texas. And I had been known in the campus ministry as the rapper, and I was rapping. And, you know, I didn't want to make an album on my own. I felt I was like scary. So I was like, yo, Tadashi, he was my roommate. I was like, will you get on this project with me? And then another friend of mine, Show, was like, will you do this project with me? And then another kid that I was discipling, he was a high school kid in Dallas. His name was Trip Lee. And I asked Trip to be a part of it as well. And, yeah, from there, we kind of formed this group. We put out my first album. And funny story, we didn't know how to get our music in stores.
Sure.
So I go up to...
I'm still trying to figure out how to get my music in
Get
stores.
your music in stores?
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen to this and it might
I
help
got
you.
you. All right. Here we go. I'm ready.
But at the time, there were Christian bookstores called Family Christian, Mardell. Yeah, so there was these Christian bookstores. And you go in there and you can buy CDs. Kids' CDs are these little musical, like, discs you play music on.
I think they're coming back.
They come,
You know,
that's
everything
true.
comes back around.
That's true. So I go to Family Christian and I say, hey, I have a CD. Would y'all put it in your store? And they were like, we'll buy one. So I was like, okay. So I said, how does this work? It said, we'll buy one of your CDs. If it sells, we'll give you some of the money, and then we'll buy maybe a couple more from you. Now, what they didn't know is that I was in Denton, Texas, and I was a part of a campus ministry called Plumline. There were about 100 of us. We were also connected to another campus ministry called College Life. There were about 300 of them.
Yeah, I remember that.
And all of these college students were waiting to hear my music on CD because I'd done like little stuff around campus for them. So what I did was I put one CD in that store, I sent in one person from campus ministry to go buy it. They were excited. And they they went back and told everybody I got the CD, and I go back to Family Christian. I said, how do we do? They said, yeah, you sold it right away. I said, okay, you want some more? They said, yeah, we'll take 5 more. I said, cool. I give them 5 more. I send 5 more college students in there. All 5 CDs get bought up. They come back and they say, hey, man, we need a whole box. You're doing really good. I said, okay, how many come in the box? Give us 25. So I give them 25, send 25 college students in there.
That's so funny.
And it just keeps going until like over 300 people. And by then they called their district office and they were like, you got to put this guy's CD in all the stores. It just is selling out.
Oh,
and that's kind of the start of like how the music started, circulating.
Do you ever listen back to those first songs or anything, and you're like, oh my word, I can't believe I wrote that, or do you look at every stage and kind of like, that's where I was and I did the best I could, and it's all kind of part of the journey?
Yeah, because if you listen to this is not a bragging or flex on my end, but if you listen to the landscape of Christian music at the time, like in 2002, it just wasn't great. Mm-hmm. And so what I felt like what was important to me, because I was one of the Christians who still listened to the radio. A lot of Christians like, I don't listen to the radio because it's not godly. And I was like, I listen.
Just K-Love only.
Right.
Yeah. Listen to K-Love, eat Chick-fil-A, and
that's
you've
it.
had your quiet time,
and
basically.
That's, more power to you.
Yeah.
I was one of those people who were like, no, I want to know what's good and what's out there. And if I was an architect, I'd want to study the best, not just the Christian architects. And so I listened, and I was trying to make it as quality and comparable to what was current at the time. And so I think that's why it sounded so relevant, culturally relevant, and why me and my partner Ben, our thing was, we want to make Christian music that you're proud to play in front of your non-Christian friends. Yeah. And that's kind of what the mission was.
So first album that ever came out was what?
Real Talk.
Real Talk.
Real Talk.
Real Talk, which had Represent on it, right?
That's right. Represent, Get Crunk.
So I told that story in the first group, but my kids love Lecrae and listen to his stuff all the time. And I said, we're going to go old school. And I played Represent off this first album the other day. And my daughter, she's listening to it. They're bobbing along. And, my 10-year-old's like, this is my new walkout song. I'm like, great. And my daughter goes, Dad, what does it mean to get crunk? And I thought, I don't know how to answer that.
That's funny.
So if you could,
yeah,
for all of us, what does it mean to get crunk? Because you tell us to do it.
Yeah, crunk is it's like a terminology that started in Atlanta in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it really just meant like to get very hype,
Okay, I nailed it because that's use type. I use type in my definition.
Just get hype.
Come on.
Yeah.
We're with it.
That's
Russells
right.
are with it.
That's right.
We're crunk.
Now, my wife, unfortunately, that saying kind of went out of style about 2008, 9.
A while ago.
Yeah, but my wife still uses it. I try to tell her, baby, you got to let that go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So that's the first album. We talked a little bit. I asked you in the first one kind of a seminal moment, just career-wise, when you're like, oh, everything now changed. And you talked about the BET Cypher.
Right.
Tell us that story.
Yeah. I am at this point in time. I've been discipled. I am, had grown in my word. I had made these albums that were very theologically dense, and you could probably, I was in seminary and going to Downline, so you're getting like, these intense things. On my Rebel album, I did a song about ecclesiology. It was heavy stuff. But by the time 2011 hit, and I had been in Memphis, been around all these kids in the neighborhood, and just walking with them, and I learned how important it was to be in spaces and places where culture thrived. Yeah. I never wanted to, and it's nothing against people who do this, but I never wanted to clean up an oil spill by being on the shore trying to clean it up as it spilled. I wanted to be in the tanker, diluting it with purification before it spilled out into the ocean. Yeah. And so I wanted to be in the epicenter of where culture was starting and diluted with truth. This BET Cypher was like the pinnacle of that for hip hop. There was nothing more important to hip hop culture than like this BET Cypher where all the best rappers gather together, they rap, and only the best of the best, emerge, and they choose certain ones, and you are on camera in front of the world. And I got invited. My publicist got me invited. They didn't have a category for me. Usually they did it by like region. Right. And it was like, well, where is he from? Oh, he's from heaven. He's from the New Jerusalem. We don't have a...
Yeah, I'm sure they thought that way.
That's probably what they thought. But they put me in the international category. So I'm rapping with people from France and London and Germany. And they didn't spell my name right. It was just kind of like, just throw him in there somewhere. We'll see what he does. But for me, it was the opportunity to show the world that Christians need to be in these spaces and places, and that we're equally as gifted, and that Jesus has something to say about this space and this place. And so I'm on this. I mean, everyone is Eminem, Kendrick Lamar. I mean, everyone you can think of. And I'm now in this room. My nerves are on edge. I just had a child. My son is born like 3 days before this, and my wife gives birth, and I'm not planning on going to this. My wife's like, no, get on the plane. You're going. So now I'm like, I don't have anything. I haven't thought through this. I haven't like prepared. And so when you're ready to freestyle, you kind of wrap your mind around things. You're writing stuff down, and you just, trying to prepare. Like even as I'm sitting in this room, it's like my brain can be thinking about stuff, just getting ready. Like, okay, I'm going to do the cypher where I'm a damager and I'm in front of all these cameras, and, I'm on the microphone. I'm about to do the cypher alone, and you're thinking that like that. And so now I'm...
Me too.
That's what you're
doing
the same stuff?
Right. Yeah.
Of course.
Sure.
Yeah, of course. So I get there, and I'm super nervous. One of the best DJs in the world, DJ Premier, spinning a record, and everyone in my group raps, and then it's my turn, and I'm just overly prepared. I'm locked in. I'm zeroed in. It's like the Odell Beckham Jr. catch. It's like I caught it, and it aired 3 days later. I get home, and all of the biggest artists and rappers are tweeting about this Christian kid, and it just felt like we did it. We did it. We put God on display. It was very like Jesus-centered, but it was like very lyrical, and it just felt like, okay, we're here. Christians are now in the mainstream space in terms of music.
Yeah. So, I mean, you wouldn't want to use this term, I'm sure, but just culturally, like that, you become a celebrity, right? In the
Right.
sense of that word. What's the hardest part about that?
Oh my goodness, how much time you got? Let's
Plenty.
see.
I mean, literally, we have 40 minutes.
There's lots of hard parts about being a celebrity. First of all, God didn't design us to be celebrities.
I'd agree with that.
So that's number one. No one is designed to have that much acclaim and that much scrutiny put on their backs. It's not healthy for us. And it's funny. I just did a post about this last week. I was at the Grammys, and in my post, I trolled a lot of people. I said I got drunk last night, and I knew people were going to watch it because I said that, and they did. But I said I got drunk last night, but I didn't get drunk off alcohol. I got drunk off an invisible gas that exists in celebrity culture that tells you you're more important than others are, or that tells you you're not as important if you're not as visible as other people are. And what celebrity culture tells you is that if you're not visible, you're not valuable. And the hardest part about that is that it's a lie that Satan would have you believe, that you need to be visible, larger than life, and perfect so that your value can be made known. The other problem with being a public figure or a celebrity is that everyone else struggles in private. Your struggles are in front of the world. And Christians, as people who are supposed to be marked by grace, we're not very gracious with public figures.
That's a good point.
In our mind, we can struggle at home with pride or arrogance, but if you struggle publicly, you're going to get chastised for that. You're going to get slapped for that. I remember one time, I forgot, I was on some news show, and I was really nervous. And it was my first time on this platform, and I was like, my head is dancing around, and they're asking me questions, and I'm just kind of rambling.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I don't know what to say to this. I hadn't had media training.
Yeah.
And when it's over, I remember looking at social media, and the comments were like, he didn't say anything about the Lord. What a failure. He's not even serious about God. And I just remember feeling like, golly, man, I barely knew my ABCs in that moment. So
Sure.
That's some of the tough part about it.
I mean, obviously, I've never walked in your shoes, but outside looking in, I feel like a lot of the criticism, maybe you've caught more from Christians than non-Christians.
Oh, for sure.
How do you internalize that or even process that?
Well, I can tell you the unhealthy way, and then I'll tell you the healthy way. The unhealthy way for me was I made church hurt God hurt. Instead of saying, man, broken people have said hurtful things, I said, God has hurt me, and I don't want anything to do with God or his people.
That's a great distinction.
And that's, God didn't say that to you. God is not a hypocrite. God is not on the hook for the way people have mistreated you. Those are broken people who need grace just as much as you do, right? And the unhealthy way I dealt with that was I just turned my back on the whole system.
Yeah.
I said, well, if this is the way Christians want to act, I don't want anything to do with any of y'all. I don't want anything to do with church, any of it. And I think that's the unhealthy way. That's how Satan wins. The healthy way is to understand, like, man, these are broken people. And unfortunately, you've got to mature. You got to, hey, you know what? The easiest way to not deal with that is to just put your phone down.
Sure.
Don't look at it. Move on. And I just try to wrestle with the reality that oftentimes, man, Christians are very insecure people, right? We're so insecure we need heroes all the time. We want a representative. It's like we're from Nazareth. We're from the town nobody wants to be from. We're Cleveland.
No offense to Alistair Begg, wherever he is in the building. Yes.
But Cleveland is just not the place everyone's like, I'm proud to be from here. And so we need a hero. If you're from Cleveland, you're like, yes, we need a championship. We need a hero. And you're going to lift that person up high because you've been misrepresented so long. And when that person says they're going to take their talents to South Beach, you burn their jersey.
That's right.
Because it's like, man, the Lakers don't burn jerseys when people leave because they're like, we're the Lakers. We'll replace you. We're already awesome. But in a lot of ways, Christians feel insecure. And so we lift up these heroes. We lift up our, Lecrae's and Tim Tebow's, and we need them to represent us in society. You're our NFL player. You're our rapper. And when they disappoint us in any kind of way, it makes it feel like, betrayal.
That's good.
And we turn our backs on them instead of being gracious and saying, hey, man, we don't know what it's like to be there, but our security's in Jesus, not you. So whether you get a touchdown or not, we're still God's kids.
I had a pastor friend in town here before we moved. I went to lunch at Huey's with. Mm-hmm. And he was telling me about a lunch he had with a guy that was an atheist. And they're having lunch, and then, some pastoral failure it popped up on the news. And he made a comment about the pastor that failed, negative, derogatory, basically like, hey, that's not me, don't associate. And the atheist really looked at him and said, you're the reason why I'll never become a Christian, because y'all eat your own. And I thought, there's something to that.
That's true.
Right? There's something to observing how quickly we can turn on each other.
That's right.
That's off-putting.
That's right.
To a lost and dying world.
That's right. Yeah, it's funny because the Bible tells us in the scriptures to gently restore those, who've fallen away.
6, yeah.
Right, Galatians 6, to gently restore. I don't think we understand what restoration looks like. We would, in many cases, we don't want to see people restored.
No, we want to see them punished.
That's right. Destroyed is what we want to see. And I think we really have to change our mindset. We should be celebrating and rejoicing when we see restoration take place instead of not to take away from the damage that's been done, right?
But there are always consequences.
That's right.
That's right.
Right. And we do want to see accountability for the wrong that is taking place. But we should also want to celebrate because God is so good. It's the irony for me, because we tend to celebrate prison ministry. We're like, that's so awesome that you guys are in there. But we probably would not celebrate pastors or Christians who did the things that these people in prison did, which is the irony of it all, right? Like we're in the prison, just, man, praise God for what God is doing in these people's lives. But outside the prison, we're like, if we see a Christian do some of the things that y'all did, we want you thrown away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this is tangential, not necessarily one-to-one, but I interviewed with a church one time years ago, big church, and they were asking me all the standard church questions and interviewing for their lead pastor position, and they asked me about ministry philosophy, and I said, well, I've got downline background. I'm like Jesus and the few and discipleship, and I kept not registering. I said, here's the deal. I think by the way, I didn't get the job after this. I said, here's the deal. If Jesus was your lead pastor, you'd fire him.
Ooh, facts.
Now, I'm not advocating saying that to people necessarily, but my point was our philosophy of ministry can go so off of what Jesus actually did.
Absolutely.
And the people he ministered to. We get sometimes a little nervous if they'd walk into church.
That's right. Oh, yeah, big time. It's irony. The irony of it all is funny to me. And listen, I'm just as guilty. I'm not taking myself out of the equation. I'm just as guilty. But I have to stop and check myself sometimes for that type of stuff. Like, wait a minute. What are we doing here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when my heart starts going to, I celebrate when somebody gets what's coming to them, I'm like, oh, boy.
Yep.
Something is off.
Yep.
Something is off. Okay, let's do a fun one, because you mentioned in the first one, Fallon. Take us back. I want to know what it's like to get dropped off at the Jimmy Fallon show from the minute you get dropped off to the minute you go on stage.
Okay.
Take us backstage with you now.
So, first of all, the Jimmy Fallon show, we get there, and this is the same size of the set. So just so
this
y'all
right
know,
here.
This is the same size.
Okay.
It's small. The only difference with the seats is that they go up like rafters, but still small. So it's just bleachers. So small set. Jimmy is very genuine, fun-loving guy. So fun-loving and genuine, I thought we were really friends. I was like, this is my friend now. In my mind, I was like, Jimmy's going to call me when I leave here. Because he's just so nice and friendly, and I was just like, we're friends. It's the most nervous I've ever been in my life.
Ever?
Ever in my life.
Why was that?
Because there's no there's rehearsal, but there's no like, it's like the circus doing the trapeze. You're on, and if you fall, that's it.
That's it.
So sometimes stuff is recorded and they can fix it, or you go back, let's fix that, let's do that again. This is live. Whatever happens,
Okay.
and you're in front of like however many millions of people, tens of millions of people. And so for me, I'm just like, that's sitting on my brain, like from a human perspective of like, wait, there's like tens of millions of people watching me right now. That's scary. But then also the pressure as a Christian, like, what am I supposed to do, Lord? Is there something I need to say? And I think we put this undue pressure on ourselves as Christians to like, have to seize the moment in this way that like God's not in control of, right? Like if you don't make it happen right now, it's over.
Yeah.
And I think that weighed on me. It was kind of like, oh shoot, what am I gonna do right now? When I wish I would have thought, Lecrae, it's very important how you treat everyone you encounter. It's important how you speak to people. It's important how gracious you are to people. It's important that you connect with the janitor and so on and so forth. I think what we tend to do is we think bigger numbers means greater, like God is doing something greater. And it's as if to say, if I'm on a flight with, I don't know, the best NFL player you can think of or basketball player, and he's sitting with his manager, our brain tends to think the player is the most important person to give the gospel to. And God is like, no, I love the manager just as much as I love the player.
Oh, wow. Yep.
And amen.
Yeah.
Amen. And so I had too much pressure on me during that moment, thinking like, I got to say something important for all these tens of millions of people here. And God is like, or you can be consistent with everything you've been doing thus far.
Yeah.
And let me control this. I got it.
So does that rob your ability to enjoy it when all that pressure's on you?
I enjoyed nothing. I enjoyed nothing.
Who was on with you that night?
I got my band with me. Oh, like in terms of
Like, who's the other guest?
see, I wish I could tell you.
Okay, yeah,
That's
you were
how
that wrapped up in it.
I was out of it. I think Whoopi Goldberg was there. I was out of it. I was just like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And you're just like over processing it, and I couldn't enjoy it. Like as the years progress, it gets easier, but early on it was nerve wracking.
Did you ever go back for Fallon round 2?
I did. I got a round 2 and a round 3 by the grace of God.
Were those far more enjoyable?
Way more enjoyable.
Okay, so when when he called me, I know what it was like.
Yeah.
But I'm more like what it was like for you.
Yeah.
Do they call and say, hey, we want you on and you got to do this song? Or is it we want you on, do whatever you want to do?
No, what they do is, it's so Hollywood. It's so Hollywood. It's so funny. What they do is they're like, well, you're known but not really known. So
And thank you for the encouragement. Yes. Yeah.
They don't say this, but it's implied.
Yeah.
It's implied. You're known but not really known. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to do a song and you're going to leave. And that's it. And then it's like, okay, you're known and you're respected, but you're still not really known. So you're going to do a song. We'll come back to you and talk about your project, but we're not going to interview you. And then you leave. And then it's like, the third time it's like, okay, you're kind of a friend of the show and you're known enough and you won some awards. You can talk now. You can talk now. But I don't know, if I'm being honest, I don't know if they were afraid to let me talk because I was a Christian and they were scared of what I may say, or because I just wasn't, known enough. I don't know. But that's something that bothered me.
So what's it like being Lecrae, the dad and husband?
Night and day different. Night and day. I get no respect, man. Night and day. Literally, this is a true story. This has just happened. I just got back from the Grammys. Like, what's today? Today's Saturday? So last Sunday was the Grammys.
Yeah.
So I'm at the Grammys, and I'm introducing my kid to all these people. He's like, how do you know these people? they know you? And my son's, I'm just like, yo, I'm not trying to brag, son, but you know, like people actually like what I do. He's like, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy. These people know you. And I was like, okay, you don't chill.
Keep rubbing it in. Keep rubbing
chill.
it in, yeah.
So,
well, my kids asked me if you would even talk to me while I was here. So I was like, well, I mean, one, he has to. But two, like, I have met him several times, guys.
First of all, I'm like, I actually have a song with this person. He's like, you got a song with them? I was like, oh my gosh. Do you even listen to my music? Do you even listen to my music? So there's that. But then I get home. My daughter flooded her shower. And so I gotta like deal with the flood and and cut a hole in the ceiling and do the whole thing. And I'm walking in from the Grammys and it's not like, man, we're so glad you got nominated. How was it? What's going on? It was like, okay, before you get upset, the reason why the shower thing did the thing is this. And then my wife is like, yeah, can you make sure you call these people because we didn't get those people to do this? And I was like, I didn't even put my luggage down.
That's right.
Yeah.
Welcome home.
Yeah, welcome home. So it's night and day. But I love that because nothing humbles you like your family. You know what I mean? They just keep you grounded, keep you humble. My wife is unfazed by all this stuff. She forgets that, you know, it's like I live in two alternate universes.
Yeah.
So,
is home a place of respite for you? I mean, is that pretty life-giving to get away from it all?
My brother, I have 3 teenagers.
So no.
What are you talking about? What is this foolishness that you speak of?
Well, I have 4 pre-teenagers, and so I don't feel any of it.
No. But honestly, it is in a sense of like it's where things feel consistent and like what's another word? Like a sturdy and foundational and not flighty. So another true story. I took my son with me to the Grammys, and we get invited to all these Grammy parties, and I take him.
Yeah.
Right. I take him to all of them. And he's like, am I allowed to go in? I'm a teen. I said, they don't care. They're just going to think you're a celebrity kid, and they're not going to ask you any questions. And so he's like, okay. So he's in all these parties. And, I mean, everybody's there. Every artist you can think of are in these rooms. And he's just looking around. And I said, what are you processing? He's like, I feel a lot of pressure. And I said, okay, what kind of pressure you feel? It's just like, I don't know. Like, this is a big deal. Like, everyone's trying to be and do. And I said, and that's unnecessary pressure because everyone's trying to be accepted when you're already accepted by God. And he was like, by the end of the trip, he's like, it's all so hollow. And I said, absolutely. I'm glad you saw it. Wow. Everyone's chasing something that they can't catch. And that's what it feels like to be in that space is you're always trying to catch. And being at home, there's nothing to catch. I'm caught.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you, and obviously I wouldn't ask you to name any names, but are there men and women in that Hollywood sphere, celebrity sphere, that over these years they've kind of sought you out and been like, hey man, this ain't working for me. What's
Yeah, it's a both and. It's some I seek out, some seek me out. It's like Nicodemus at night. You know, you have some artists who just come to you and like,
yeah, they were leaning in real close.
Yeah, like can you tell me about this Christian thing, bro? Because I got some questions. And I love that. And I tell a couple stories all the time. You know, I talk about me and Kendrick. You know, I reached out to Kendrick in 2011 before he was a big celebrity superstar. He wrote this song called The Faith. I listened to it and I just said, man, I hear you wrestling with some themes about God and maybe I could, you know, we could talk and I could answer some of these questions for you. He wasn't a big known artist, and that's part of the thing is I think people chase after big names instead of just chasing after people who are voicing their concerns and questions with God. So I just reached out to a then very unknown Kendrick, which turned into a relationship year after year, which turned into him mentioning me in one of his biggest battles with Drake, asking, I wonder what Lecrae would do. And it wasn't because he wondered what kind of rapper I was. It was because he knew the content of my character. And he was like, man, I feel frustrated. What will Lecrae do in this situation? Which was a blessing to hear. Another thing that really, you know, it aches me because I wish I would have pursued more. But a young guy reached out to me and he just said, hey man, my mom loves your music and she put me on your music, and I just got a lot of questions, you know, he was a big deal, and I didn't want to overstep my bounds. I was like, yo, man, feel free to ask any questions you want. I'm always here. And I left it at that.
Just left it, yeah.
And I wish I would have pursued more. And I wish I would have dug in more. And this artist, his name is Juice WRLD.
Okay.
And he passed away. And I just felt bad because I was like, man, if I would have engaged more, you know, so it just taught me a lesson that tomorrow's not promised, and pursue people.
So moving forward, Reconstruction just dropped. You've been on a tour. Your last tour, right? You told me no more Lecrae tours?
That's right. I'll still do shows, but no tours.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, the ticket price for tonight should have gone up. Let's create a secondary market real quick in all of this.
Yes, it's a rarity.
But you still love writing.
I love writing.
So you're going to keep coming out with more music, but
Absolutely.
just no more tours.
Absolutely. Yeah. My son is a rising, he's in 8th grade. He's a really good football player. And I was on tour this fall. And, you know, this is his second year playing organized football. He skipped a year. He did 6th grade. He skipped 7th grade. No, he did 5th grade, skipped 6th and 7th. And he wasn't really good. He's always been athletic.
Yeah.
Wasn't good in 5th grade. So he's like, I'm going to play football. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'll come support. But I was on tour. So I'm like, you know, I'll miss a few games, but I'll check a couple of them out. He's riding the bench. You know, it's not a big deal. He caught every pass they threw at him. Every single pass. Multiple touchdowns. And I was missing game after game after game. And I thought, nope. The world can find another artist. My son doesn't get another dad. So
Man, I love that.
Got to be present.
Man, amen. What excites you about Reconstruction?
Reconstruction is an album that I made as a person who went through about an 8-year journey of healing and, you know, going through a period where I was doubting God and wrestling with the church and finding solutions and finding answers and finding healing and finding hope. And I was like, man, people are still wrestling with this stuff. And all the people out there deconstructing, I want to encourage them. God is still reconstructing, and he can reconstruct your deconstruction.
Amen. That's right.
And that's what he does, right? I also wrote it because the church, unfortunately, has constructed some things that are more cultural than biblical.
Okay.
Right? So that we have a lot of things about, in America specifically, a lot of things that are, to us are, I mean, they're staples. But to God, he's like, I mean, that's not really a staple. It's kind of like, it's not really biblical, if I'm being honest. It's just a thing that we've made. Another way I put it is traditions. I'm okay with traditions. I don't like traditionalism.
Sure, that's different.
So tradition is, on Christmas, we make the kids sing a song before they can open a present. That's what we do. Traditionalism is, if you don't do this, Christmas is not Christmas.
That's right.
And I think oftentimes the American church has made certain things traditionalism that are just traditions. It's our American tradition. It's not like you have to do certain things that we do. That God is probably like, it's not that deep, you know? So I wanted to tear some of those things down for us and reconstruct the ancient Near Eastern biblical perspective.
Okay, so ancient Near Eastern, I'm going to totally jump a segue off of that to international at large. Is there one place maybe you've done a concert or, you know, y'all are checking the data and you go, oh my word, I've got fans in whatever country, and you were just like, I didn't even know I'd connect with people there.
True story. My wife and I, this is like a bucket list trip for me, right? So my wife and I are like, hey, I'm like, hey, let's do a mile run so I can get keep my status on Delta. And I was like, I got a bucket list for my birthday. Let's go to Tokyo.
I thought when you said mile run, y'all went for a jog.
No, my fault.
Just keep going.
Mile run, just stack my miles up so I can keep my status.
So
I'm like, bucket list trip. Let's go to Tokyo. Use our points for the hotel. Let's just go for a couple days. And so we go. And first of all, Tokyo, Japan is like one of the most least church places in America, in the world, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And also they speak Japanese for the most part. So
one would expect.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so I literally am we're at this gigantic I forgot what it's called, but it's crossing. I forgot the name of the
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I don't know that I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm gonna mess it up. I was say like Shibuya Crossing or something, but I could be totally butchering it. But it's like a 4-way crosswalk, and it is packed. And before we get there, I was like, well, this is one place I know I'm not gonna get stopped or recognized. And as soon as it starts, the crosswalk, there is a kid wearing a Reach Records, my label, Unashamed shirt from our label. And he's walking in the middle of the street. And I'm like, yo, I see him before he sees me. I'm like, yo. And he's like, no way. And so it was just like, what the heck is this? And it was just mind blowing to me. And he was like, yeah, man, there's tons of us out here. We're believers. We love your music. And I was like, Tokyo? So, yeah, man, blew my mind. I wasn't ready.
No way.
Yeah, blew my mind.
What is next for you? You've done some podcasts of your own, which are really good.
Yeah.
There was some great guests. You speak. I know you'll preach. You write music. But is there any project or something on your mind that you're like, man, I would love to? We talked earlier about impacting culture, right? And transformation. Are there areas that you go, I think I could really have a lot of fun with that? And if it's a secret, you don't have to tell us. But
No, it's not. I mean, honestly, for me, I write my list down and I hand it to God, and I don't know what he'll do with it. Maybe he'll honor it. Maybe he'll crumble it up and say, sorry, that's not what I got in the plans for you.
Yep.
But one thing that I would love is, if I could land my plane, it doesn't have to be tomorrow. It could be in years to come. But I would love to land my plane, living in Los Angeles, consistently doing prison ministry, right? Because I have a passion for the incarcerated community.
Why LA?
A couple reasons. One, some of my formative years were in California.
Okay.
So the first time I went to prison was to visit my uncle in California.
Okay.
As a 9-year-old. So it's burned in my brain. And my career started with me volunteering at detention centers, right? So that's how I got started rapping. But then two, because when I'm not in that prison, I'm in culture. I'm in a place where culture is brewing. It's Hollywood. It's all of the mist and the gas. And I just want to help people to navigate it, to swat it away. I've gotten to see the fruit of being in the lives of certain artists and certain people. And there's no people, this is my opinion, hot take.
All right.
It's hot take. There's such thing as what we call California Christians. All right. And the stereotype for California Christians is, man, there's just a lack of they get swept up by the Hollywood stuff, and they become as Hollywood as the celebrities.
Okay.
And I would love to just cut through that. I would love to cut through that because I've already experienced. There's nothing for me to gain. I've had the #1 album in the country. I've won multiple Grammys. I got platinum records. I did it. It's empty. There's nothing there. The biggest stars and artists and athletes in the world, I shook their hands. I've hung out with them. They are giraffes on ice skates. They are trying to find their way. There's nothing there. The only solid ground is the rock of Jesus. And I would love to just cut through that and be a presence in that space. I think the prison ministry levels me out because when you got to get back into the smoke.
Yeah.
But then you get to, so that's what I'm here, Lord. If you want me to do that, I will. But until it makes itself clear, I'll be where I'm at.
It's got to break your heart seeing so many people. I'm sure you've come to really care about. I mean, it's Ecclesiastes, right? It's chasing the wind and
that's
chasing
right.
the wind. I mean, that in its own right can bring a lot of sorrow, personal sorrow, right?
Oh yeah, but what I found is that people are going to chase it because you can tell them, but they're like, I got to see for myself. And that's the unfortunate part is everyone wants to see for themselves. They're like, but and all you got to do is look at history. It's like historically, what have you seen? You've seen people fall.
That's right.
You've seen people get swallowed up because it is a gas. And even when you look at the temptation of Christ, it's like, what is Satan offering him? He's offering him power and prestige.
Yeah. Kingdom, no cross.
That's right. And his tactics haven't changed. He's still doing the same thing. And so, man, even in Christian entertainment, it's still that power and prestige that people fight for. You know, and I'm just always trying to tell them, like, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I promise you.
Yeah.
But some of them, like, I got to see for myself. I just got to see. I got to get to the top.
Is there anybody out there that you're like, oh, I want to do a song with this person before I'm done producing music, that you hadn't had a chance to do one with yet?
Yeah, man. Michael Jackson. Can you make that happen?
Yeah, I can work on it. I can. Mike, I can do a sick, mean criminal with my kids in the car. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Lauryn Hill would be one person that I would love to do music, just because she was so powerful in my formative years. But I don't know about the current, what she is currently as much as what she was historically.
How does that work in your world? I mean, do you literally reach out and say, hey, I want to do a song with you? How does that even go down?
It's kind of a both and. Yeah. It's kind of weird. People will seek you out. A lot of times they'll think you wouldn't want to work with them.
Okay.
They'll think, you don't want to work with me. I'm a sinful person or something. We make different kinds. And then other times they will seek me out. So it's a both and. But, I like to warn people too. It's gotten so much better. It used to be a big deal to work with an artist who was not known as a Christian artist. It used to be a big deal for folks. They'd be like, wow, what are you doing? And to me, I'm like, I'm just eating with tax collectors. I'm just having a meal with prostitutes and tax collectors. And I'm not asking them to be anything they're not. I don't say, hey, I want you to write a song about Ecclesiastes 5. I would never do that. And they're never asking me.
Have you written a song about Ecclesiastes 5? Because I'd love to hear that one.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, come on.
But they never asked me to do something that I wouldn't do. They're never like, we're going to do the song about strippers. It doesn't happen. It's generally them deferring to me, saying, hey, man, what do you think about this? Or what's a good idea? And then I will lay that out. So, that's generally how it works.
Well, one thing I love about just the way that God's designed the body of Christ, if we can stomach it, right? Now, here's our part. Peter tells us that we are chosen and precious stones built together into a spiritual house. I think he's drawing on the literal temporal imagery of they carved the stones 2 miles away. They marked them. They got to the Temple Mount, and they literally put the stone in the exact place it was marked for. In my opinion, a lot of us don't like the stone God's marked us to be. We want to be a different stone because that stone's on the front pillar or the front of the thing, and it's good. But look, you're a stone a lot of folks see. And if we can celebrate that, you get access in places I'll never have access. And so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for your faithful gospel witness. I lament a lot of the unfair criticism that came your way for a while. And I mean, look, we know each other not well, but even from afar, I was like, I'm not even there, and that can't be true. Right. It's like, but that's the age we live in. Right. If somebody tweets it, it's true. And it's out there, and you and your kids and Dara have to feel it in ways that the little Twitter person, I have no social media if you can't tell, in the way that they'll never feel. Yeah. So I'm glad you came through. God was going to bring you through. And he did it on the other side.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. And I think he allowed me to go through some of that to be a testimony for other people. And to your point, I say this as an encouragement to anybody who's listening about, the stone that some see or that others don't see. There is I don't know exactly where it is, but Michelangelo had done these sculptures of angels, or his depiction of angels, on a cathedral. And
Sistine Chapel.
Is that the one?
I think so, yeah.
This wasn't a painting, it was sculptures, right?
Oh, so not the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, so these were sculptures. But it's not the Sistine Chapel either, because what ended up happening was this church or this cathedral in some kind of way had to get restored. And as they're restoring it, there are a couple of the angels that are like in the back of the cathedral. Like you can't really see them well. they're not visible to the human eye. And they were some of the most like intensely detailed, sculptured ones, the ones that were not seen by the public. And that always encouraged me because it just reminds me that God has left no detail, no care, no lack of like intentionality with any of us, regardless of how visible we are to the world. Like, again, our value is not in our visibility, right? Our value is in him who knows us. And can I tell one more story?
You bet. You
This
can do
is
anything you want to.
another true story. Hollywood, Lecrae true stories. So funny. My first time going to the Grammys, second time maybe, I get to LA, and I'm in LA, and I'm like, I forgot I have to go to these like pre-events.
Yeah.
So I don't have the clothes. What do you wear to these, right? Because I got a Lacoste shirt. I don't know.
Called me. I know.
See, I didn't know.
Right. Yeah.
I got you next time. So I say, let me go to Rodeo Drive. Never been.
Okay.
So I go to Rodeo Drive, and I get to Rodeo Drive, and I go in the store, and I was like, all right, let me just get a T-shirt because I know this stuff is going to be way too expensive. So let me just get a T-shirt. So I grab a T-shirt. I look at the price tag. It's like $400. Like $400 for a T-shirt. So then I'm like sitting there scratching my head, and I asked the lady at the desk, like, help me understand. Like, what is it? And she said, that shirt's on sale.
No.
I'm like, but what? Like, what is it made of? Like, is it gold? Is it gonna like change when the sun hits me? Like, what is it? And she's like, it's not the ingredients or the textures. It's none of that. It's the designer's name. It's actually just polyester. But it's the designer's name attached to it that gives it worth. And I was like, that's the sermon I needed to hear.
That's right.
I don't need anything in here because I got the designer's name attached to me.
Man, that's good.
And I'm valuable.
That is good.
And man, that changed everything for me. You know, just moving forward.
Good.
So yeah,
I'm going to use that. Can I use that?
you got it.
I'll be the one on Rodeo Drive, but I'm going to use it. I'll tweak it.
You got that, man.
Okay, we're going to end with something fun. You ready? I can tell you we're going to do this.
Okay.
You can freestyle. I'll listen.
Okay.
But before we do it, all right, we got to go quick. We're running out of time. Somebody, say a word. Any word. Just say a word. Hippo. Oh, God. Hippo, catfish. I need one more. One more word. Golf. Hippo, catfish, golf. You got to work it in some way, somehow. You ready? Hippo, catfish, golf.
Hippo, catfish, golf. All right, let's see what I can do. That's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting.
This is funny. I don't think anybody's ever given me catfish.
I couldn't imagine.
A day in my life.
Somebody has given you hippo?
Listen, no, you're right.
All right.
Let's see what I can do. Look, I'm on fire for the Lord. I'm on fire. You gotta light me like a Zippo. I keep the flow going. It's bigger than a hippo. Yeah, I don't know why they want me to rap this, but someone gave me a word to rhyme, and it was catfish. And I know I'm probably sounding off, but nothing's worse than this than seeing me play golf.
Hey, can we tell Lecrae thank you? All right, hey, we're done. I'm releasing y'all back, I think, to the main stage. Thanks for being with us.
Of course, man. Thank y'all.
We thank you for listening to this episode of the Downline Podcast. Please subscribe, give us 5 stars, help us to get this content out to as many people as possible as we continue to partner with men and women in the Great Commission as we seek to make disciples as a lifestyle for a lifetime.